The City of Waterloo, in cooperation with its many active and inspiring entities, presents Hart for the City, a chance to hear and see what's going on in our city and to meet people who serve you, teach you, entertain you, help you, all neighbors and like you. Make this a city on the move. And now, here's our host, the Honorable Quentin Hart.
Welcome to Heart of the City, Waterloo's own special programming just for you. On this program, we highlight some of the many worthwhile events, places, and things that make this an amazing city. And as you know, I'm Quentin Hart, proud mayor for the City of Waterloo. And there are so many things taking place in Waterloo. And on each episode, we try to highlight just a few aspects that make up what is the heart of our city. And for sure, we're only merely scratching the surface of what we have to offer. So tell others to take the time to watch this program and any of the past episodes that are airing on Mediacom Channel 15 or that can be watched on the YouTube link on the City of Waterloo homepage. But getting into business, one of our city's most indispensable organizations are the Planning and Zoning Department. They are tasked with promoting health, safety, convenience, prosperity, and general welfare. Now, imagine that as being a job description for a particular department. But to do this, they must conserve and protect the value of our property, encourage appropriate uses of lands, lessen street congestion, prevent overcrowding, figure out where new development should take place, facilitate the provisions of transportations, work with our schools, work to do with parks and other public entities. And there's so much more that falls under our planning and zoning jurisdiction. But one of their important key essential functions is that of economic development. And I mention that because many times I'll receive calls, questions, comments about economic development. Why is it happening? Why is it not happening? And we know with economic development that talks about our economic growth, which talks about our financial security, which also has an impact on our property tax levy rate. So we will be back with more on this area in one moment. Stay tuned.
Whether you like spin, aqua zumba, or insanity, you'll find your fix at the Cedar Valley Sportsplex. With the membership, you get access to over 50 specialty classes per week and state-of-the-art equipment. We focus on fulfilling the fitness goals for the whole family. If you're ready to work on wellness for less, join the family at Cedar Valley Sportsplex in downtown Waterloo today.
Welcome back. I am proud to serve in a community of hardworking, diverse, and passionate citizens embracing progress, which is evidenced by the fact from an economic development standpoint. Waterloo is $25.34 million ahead of where we were at last time at this point. And here to explore economic development with me is Noel Anderson, Director of the Planning and Zoning Department. Welcome, Noel.
Thanks, Mayor.
Okay. He's pretty laid back right now, but although Noel has the wrong football team, I'm glad that we are both players when it comes to economic development for the City of Waterloo. So Noel, can you tell me a little bit about the Planning and Zoning Department, and about your background too?
Sure. The Planning and Zoning Department, we currently have 8 staff members in the Planning and Zoning Department. I am, of course, the director. I started at the City of Waterloo back in 1996. I have a degree from Iowa State in Community and Regional Planning, so this is exactly what I was supposed to be doing according to my education.
All right. And also, with regards to the Planning and Zoning Department, you oversee the land uses. For instance, would I be able to, if I was a company, come in and put up a huge manufacturing warehouse in the middle of a residential neighborhood?
Correct. The City of Waterloo is guided. By state code, we've adopted a comprehensive plan that guides our actions with a future land use map in there for the zoning and for the regulations and policies of the zoning ordinance. We also have the majority of the city is zoned in some fashion or not, some of it being agricultural, but the majority being residential. And then you have your industrial and commercial business park areas to help guide, where businesses would go. And a lot of that zoning classifications will match where our infrastructure is at as well. So we'll have the manufacturing where we have the availability and capacity for heavy water and sewer, as well as we'll have the commercial areas near our highways, near our transportation hubs.
So land usage and the ability to use land, how we use land, are all wrapped into our zoning ordinances as well. But one interesting thing, moving from that direction, talking about economic development, I'll always get like little Facebook messages, and I got one the other day, and the person had asked, hey, I would like to see X, Y, and Z restaurant. I would like to see X, Y, and Z company. And what I was trying to explain to the person is when you take a look around the country, you won't find a municipality or a city like the city of Waterloo owning a McDonald's or owning those things. But it's not the city that actually owns them. Who owns those types of businesses?
So some of them will be corporately owned. Some of them will have some kind of a local owner that has the franchise agreement to be able to bring them here. So we're always working with private investors, private developers to help and bring restaurants, companies here in one manner or another.
So it's that public and private partnership. And so, like you just indicated, cities don't necessarily own these businesses. But what do cities do to help those businesses come to a particular area?
And the city of Waterloo is taking a number of measures to try and help bring new businesses here and help our existing businesses. Some of the actions that you're asking about, number one is having a good transportation network so that they know that there's an easy access to get in and out of there. We're working with millions of dollars a year in local option money. We're working with about $2 million a year in federal road funds that come into the area that we're making road improvements so that we're adding a left turn lane or a right turn lane onto San Martin to make it an easier intersection, because companies and restaurants especially want people to be able to get in and out and feel it's an easy route to go to their store. We do put in infrastructure to make sure that we're able to handle the sewer and the water capacities that they need to run these businesses. We try to promote and bring new residential here so they have rooftops and people visiting their stores. And so we're seen as a growing community that is bringing in new businesses, new residents to serve these areas.
And it's interesting because one of the proud things that I'm proud about taking over the mayor's seat is the fact that we're starting to see development in every corridor. If we take a look at just say for instance, the Logan Plaza area, brand new Donald Street, brand new Highway 63, improvements to Allen Hospital, new school, Dr. Sunderum's office, and now we have a developer that's interested in the shell, which was Logan Plaza. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And
just like you said, Mayor, that public-private partnership. So we have the developer, Mr. Ben Stroh, who's actually the one that's been developing the former Kmart Plaza down at San Martin and LaPorte, and he's done a great job there bringing a new Freddy's, the new Tokyo, the Carlos O'Kelly's, Planet Fitness. So he's done a great job of redeveloping that older shell. He's now willing to work with us. He's an East High graduate, much like yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Working at the Logan Plaza area to really redevelop that whole area. And again, working with that public-private partnership, instead of the city having to come up with funds up front, he's doing a lot of that. We're rebating back to him the taxes it's created from that added value out there. So we're giving back what we're not getting now. So by gaining new investment and new taxable value out there, then we're able to return that back to them for their investment. And now between the developer and the city, we'll have over 60 acres of land able to be developed into a lot of commercial and medical and retail type uses out there.
And so, and then even within your department though, you kind of restructured a position or two to kind of help maximize our economic development efforts.
We have. We went from last year, I think we were at 7.5 positions. We've now gone to 8 positions with no impact to the general fund because that's being paid out of...
Say that again, with no impact to the general fund. Oh,
correct, because that extra half a position is being funded through development occurring, through the TIF district funds. And so we are able to dedicate...
Say that again with no... Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just...
So we're able to dedicate one particular staff person to working on economic development the entire time. Because, and It's hard to say one person's working on economic development because there's a lot of little things that go into economic development. We have the Main Street for downtown. We have, we have the CLURA. We have the TIFs. We have historic preservation to help in some older buildings and some of those tax credits from the state. So that, and transportation's always a big thing, again, going back to economic development. So, I mean, all of the staff is helping in different manners, and every project needs a lot of different steps, from the development agreement to the zoning to the subdivision of land. So it's a teamwork effort, but having one particular staff person working on just projects 100% of the time, we think will help us be more proactive.
And also, we have a great relationship with the Greater Cedar Valley Alliance as well. And they play a pivotal role. If something comes down from the state, a larger company is looking to come into the area, we kind of work together, and they'll put information out to help us have the best package in front of those particular developers or business people, and they work with us to try to move that direction forward as well. But we also, for the state of Iowa, we recently just signed an agreement with the company of Buxton.
Yes.
Because we're trying to be more proactive, we're trying to reach out there. Can you tell just a little bit about Buxton?
Yes, I mean, Buxton is specifically a nationwide gatherer of information. So every time you use your credit card, they are tracking everything you do. So they know how old you are, they know how many kids you have, they know where you live, they know how much money you make, they know exactly which restaurants you like to shop at. And I think a major part of the Buxton presentation was they talked about two guys. They were both about 40 years old. They both made about $80,000 a year. But one of them had 2 kids, one of them had 0 kids. One of them liked to watch Netflix, one liked to go to the movie theater. So there was a lot of distinct differences that you would never notice just from census data. Right. Buxton takes all that information and specifically then works with a TGI Fridays or a Chili's and says, these are the people that like to specifically eat at your restaurant. Right. And here's how many of them are within Waterloo, and here's a location that'll work for you. So we think it'll help us 2 different ways. One, by having the information ready, we're able to send it out to companies and have it exactly how they want to see it. 2, Buxton, last year of the, I think they said 25,000 new retail locations that were opened up in the nation, they were responsible for 33% of them. Wow. So now they have our information that they're able to share with people right at the top of their fingertips.
So you can see absolutely huge footprint into retail. So it just shows that in order to be able to meet the demand, try to create jobs, try to do a myriad of different things, we're trying to take a multi-level approach to make sure that we are doing all that we can to make sure progress is seen in every corridor of the city. Any highlights that you want to share with us about where we're at right now?
Sure, and you know, it's a great time in Waterloo. We just had our second highest year ever at $127.51 million, and that's in new permit valuation for residential, commercial, and industrial. So again, like you said, Mayor, we're seeing great activity in all different areas of the community and all different types of activity. We just had our highest single family month ever last March with 25 single families in one single month. We had our highest single family total for the year ever with 99 new single family homes, and we had our second highest residential total with 205 new units last year. And of course we have just a large amount of construction underway or just finishing or just about to start. The Grand Crossing project downtown building is just about finishing up. They're going to have 2 more buildings potentially on that site. One will be probably starting late this fall or in the spring. The VGM project's undergoing right now, which is being built to add another 250 to 300 employees. The KWL building, which is right on near the heart of downtown, and it's a historic one that'll really bring back a lot of historic looks to that building and add into their investment in the area. ConAgra is adding another David's Sunflower Seeds product lined out there with another 50 jobs. The TechWorks project's going underway right next to Deere, bringing in the Marriott Hotel. Hawkeye Community College's urban campus, they just had the groundbreaking the other day. Just a fantastic end. And the nice thing about that location is not only is it in downtown Waterloo, it's at the southern end of the Highway 63 corridor redevelopment that we're doing. And then we have Logan Plaza at the north end, so we're really hitting the bookends of that whole corridor redevelopment. The new Chipotle restaurant, Gerald Sulky up at the airport just reopened. They manufacture horse carriages. They're #1 throughout the world, right here in Waterloo. Hydrite Chemicals expanding, FedEx expands. I mean, so, and we have a lot of just smaller projects out there that are just really popping at this time.
Right. So contrary to what you may hear, what you may see, economic development is moving forward in the city of Waterloo. Noel, are there any other ideas or anything you want to share with us before we transition?
Really just, you know, if you have a particular restaurant or somebody you want us to contact, go ahead and contact our office at 319-291-4366. We're more than happy to try and look into that and try to provide information to the company, or again, working with Buxton to try to get that information specifically to them.
All right, all right. Well, thanks, Noel, for sharing your insights with us. Through the efforts of the people in the planning department and city, we will continue to see growth, positive results, and benefits that I can only call multiple successes. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us today about the very important functions of your department, especially with regards to economic development. So thank you very much, Mr. Anderson. All right, and you've probably seen newspaper advertisements and attention-getting banners displayed at local nurseries and garden centers proclaiming fall is for planting. But is it really wise to plant trees and shrubs at the end of a growing season and so close to winter? For the answers to this and other arboreous questions, stay tuned. How does the city of Waterloo deal with approximately 17,000 trees along Waterloo's street right-of-ways, all of the trees in Waterloo's 3 municipal golf courses and 52 city parks? Well, the answer is Leisure Services Forestry Crew, which performs a number of tree cultivation services on city-owned property. And here to tell us more is our city forester, Todd Derifield. First off, before we get into what your department does, what does it take to be in the forestry department?
Well, as any city department, you got to be pretty versatile. One day you could be trimming trees, one day you might be putting up flood walls, sandbagging, you just never know. But all of our forestry staff, you know, they're working at heights of 60 feet, 75 feet in a lift truck, so they can't be scared of heights. They got to be strong enough to climb a tree with a rope and saddle. They got to be able to drive a large truck with a 12,000-pound chipper to a job site, so that they're required to have a Class A CDL. We have a number of certifications that they have to have, one for spraying pesticides, another one for trimming trees around electrical conductors. OSHA says that we can't trim a tree within 10 feet of an electrical conductor unless you're certified with this certification. So there's a lot of training that goes into our crews, and they are very skilled employees, and I'm very proud of the fact that they get a lot of stuff done in the community.
Right. And so with that, are they required to receive some type of, and I'm going to pronounce this, arborist certification? Did I pronounce that right? Or?
I call it arboriculture, but
okay.
That could be one form of it.
Right.
And there are some, there's a certified arborist certification that both myself and our foreman have, and we are required to have. So yes, there's a lot of certifications and CEUs that we got to get each year. And
right. And a big part of this, I think maybe about 5-6 years ago, I remember hearing Director of Leisure Services, Paul Hudding, start to talk about ash borer conversations, and that in this amount of years, these trees will no longer have life in them. Can you talk about that that piece of it? Because I don't think people may see us tearing down trees, but I don't really think they understand that concept as much as they could.
Sure. In January of 2014, we found that the infestation of emerald ash borer it was found in Waterloo at that point. Throughout the Midwest, we've lost millions of trees, but now that it's in Waterloo, we have begun to remove a lot of our public trees, and we started with between 45 and 4,600 trees, and now we are at around 2,900 ash trees on public property. Our guys have been removing those trees, and now we're getting to the point where the trees are starting to die before we get to them, and we've started contracting some of the removals. We really want to remove those trees before they're totally dead, because then it creates some hazards with those dead trees on the public areas, and we don't want any property damage or personal injury.
Right. And so the ash borer situation, we're dealing with that. We've been planning for that, and we've been trying to meet that demand. You know, also the responsibility for the 52 parks, I believe, that was stated a little bit earlier. But what are some other duties within the forestry department? Stump removal, no stump removal, but what are some other
Sure.
duties?
We have a systematic trimming program in the community. We've divided the community into 10 different zones, and each year we go into one of those zones and trim every tree along the city right-of-way in that zone. So it's a 10-year cycle. Our resources allow that cycle, and we also do a lot of tree planting. We'll go back into the parks where we've removed the ash trees and we'll plant trees. We apply for grants for that type of thing, and we do have some funding, you know, in our budget for that as well. And we also do some root pruning as part of the sidewalk program. When the roots of trees will lift the sidewalks, and as they're being replaced, we'll come in and do some root pruning. So we're busy.
Right, and I think for a little while, Waterloo is named a Tree City USA. What does that mean?
Sure, it's quite an honor. We've been named, or we've had that status of Tree City USA for 32 years now, and to do that, you have to meet certain criteria. You have to have a tree board or department, which we do. You have to have a tree ordinance, which we have an ordinance that protects our trees. You have to celebrate Arbor Day and have an Arbor Day proclamation, which we do. And you have to have an expenditure of $2 per capita on tree maintenance, which we do. Right. And that basically means, you know, that honor or that award means that the council and mayor has committed to managing and maintaining our tree resources, which is awesome.
Right. So a myriad of different things that you do, and I also notice other duties as assigned for some of the people within the department. But is there anything that you'd like to share with our audience that are out there watching this right now about your department? You
bet. If anybody's interested in planting a tree along the city right-of-way, feel free to call our office at 291-4370, and we want to talk to you about it because it is a permit-required process, and it doesn't cost anything. It's just something that we want to walk you through, planting the right tree in the right place.
Right. All right. Well, thank you, Todd, for all you and the members of the Forestry Department do. When you see those big red trucks, you will know that they are providing a very important service. The trees we plant and care for today cool and beautify our communities, increase property values, help the clean air and water, and conserve energy now and for the future. So thank you, Todd.
All right, thank you.
All right. An effective community is always blessed to have effective arts and many different types of entertainment. And without further ado, we have a very special guest that will be coming to you to talk about the interesting things to see and do in downtown Waterloo. Let's take a look.
Myself, I mean, maybe I'm biased, but I think art is essential.
On this week's episode of Travel Waterloo, a look at why public art is important to our community. Over a dozen pieces of public art are on display in Waterloo. Some are visible as you drive through downtown, while others require you to pause, walk around, and observe. One thing we dig about the public art is the visual interest it creates throughout the downtown cultural district. Chawne Paige is the curator at the Waterloo Center for the Arts. His mission is to bridge the gap between local artists, community leaders, and residents with the goal of bringing more art to downtown.
Once you actually start adoring communities with artwork, it kind of takes on a whole nother life and a whole nother interpretation.
One of downtown's most notable pieces of artwork is We the People. It hangs on the east side of the Park Avenue parking ramp. Recently, the entire mural received a facelift.
It's also a look at this community's, this area's kind of heritage with the Native American communities, the kind of the use of the land, and in recent years, the kind of influx of lots of different cultures that have kind of come to not only America, but come right here in our home in the Cedar Valley, Waterloo.
Take a walk around downtown Waterloo, and you'll come across works such as Song Sung Blue, a bold blue guitar overlooking the Riverloop Amphitheater. Or you'll find The Quill in Lincoln Park. More public art projects are on the way. No longer will Lou Henry Hoover stand alone. Soon a sculpture garden will fill the surrounding green space with more public art.
It takes the piece out of the hands of the artist, in the hands of the people that are interacting with it. From like the social media photographs to the tags to just, hey, you know, look, there's this bronze sculpture, I want to stand on it and have my kids be there.
For more information about the places we saw today, check out the Travel Waterloo blog at travelwaterloo.com and visit our YouTube channel for a look at past episodes and travel ideas.
We are back, and with us is the star of that video you've just seen, the curator for the Waterloo Center for the Arts. Welcome, Chawne. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Doing good? Doing good or great?
I'm doing great. Doing fabulous.
Okay. Well, besides the great outdoor art in the downtown, there are various festivals sponsored by the Center for the Arts, and one of them is the upcoming Holiday Arts Festival, of which you are the event organizer for this 46th annual event. Please tell us more.
Oh my gosh.
You've been there all 46?
No, I haven't. You know, I've been with Waterloo Center for the Arts for probably about 15 years. So
Okay.
I've actually seen this festival grow as our building has grown.
Okay.
And the festival itself has started out long before I was there, but celebrating a lot of the crafters, a lot of the artisans from around the entire state, if not,
Right.
for the most part, all of the Midwest,
Okay.
have kind of come down to the center to not only just share like what their kind of things are, but also to be able to actually sell objects for the community to kind of purchase, to kind of get ahead of that early holiday shopping kind of part, which is great. And so one thing to actually know is the Waterloo Center for the Arts deinstalls all of our exhibitions that we normally have and install all of the artists, or allow the artists to actually use all of our galleries.
Wow.
And so literally, wall to wall, from one end of the art center all the way to the other end of the art center, is filled with artists from around the area.
And you said from around the area, but just outside of Iowa as well, right? Some other states potentially, other cities within the state.
Absolutely. This year, the festival, we have about 53 artists.
Okay.
And of those 53 artists, probably about, I want to say maybe 25% of them are from about 6 of the surrounding states. There are quite a bit new artists from right here locally, but definitely there's a large quantity of artists from the state of Iowa.
Right. And so, you know, it's not just paintings. They'll also have a myriad of other things as well, right?
Oh my goodness, where to even begin? we have a plethora of jewelers.
Right.
We have fabulous ceramicists. There are those working in glass, those working in wood, steel sculpture, as well as wearable art. There's a lot of textile artists, as well as if you want to get that cutting board, or
Right.
if you want to get fabulous earrings or jewelry or necklaces. All of this is kind of in that context of,
Right.
well, hey, you can buy that unique gift that you're not going to be able to find at Walmart, you're not going to be able to find
Right.
online. And if you really want something that's truly unique for
Right.
that special loved one or whatnot, this is a place to actually, purchase work and support local artists and support, the actual real fabrication of things that are special and completely unique.
I have to go back just a little bit. Ceramicist.
Yes.
Okay.
ceramicist,
Okay.
yeah.
So I just need to make sure I heard that. But your title is curator. That's a
Yeah.
pretty important title.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what is a curator?
Oh, I guess in short, a curator is essentially someone that either works with artists or present exhibitions. Part of my job is I arrange the gallery so that the viewer or the visitor that's coming to the museum can understand what the artist's intent is behind the work.
Okay.
But more specifically, I do hang the work. A lot of times I'm working with the artists and a committee to select what type of exhibitions we present, specifically at the Waterloo Center for the Arts. And so with just presenting something or hanging something on the wall, part of my job is to also interpret that work,
Right.
to try to somehow celebrate the significance of what the artist's intent is, or try to make connections so that the community can kind of gain access to the kind of the creative world of the arts.
And with every piece of art, there's a particular story. So you tell that story. So, what's interesting is that you can look at a painting one time or a sculpture, and then you come back 2 days later and look at it again, and you'll recognize something else that you didn't see beforehand. And just the creativity process. I like how you even just transformed my office, with the works of Mr. Matlock. And, those pieces, they tell an actual story. So it's something that I become more aware of as well. But also, you mentioned the people that we have, the different artists that are coming in. Did you say November 12th and 13th?
I didn't get to that yet.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so as far as the Holiday Arts Festival, it is being held November 12th and 13th. It's going to be from 10 o'clock in the morning all the way through till 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
The festival is free and open to the public. There's going to be food available by our kind of art house, not art house cafe, Laughing Tree
Right.
Cafe. They're going to be serving breakfast and lunch along with kind of sweets and stuff pretty much all day long. Yeah. What?
Any entertainment there? Musical guests or artists? Other types
this
of
year
artists?
our focus is going to be on the artist itself.
Okay.
One of the things in thinking about putting together the schedule for the Holiday Arts Festival, the Art Center itself, we are always presenting the arts, and we partner with a lot of people. And this particular weekend, the Waterloo Community Playhouse and Blackout Children's Theater is also going to be their production of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is also going to be happening the weekend. So definitely kind of come and get your tickets and see the show, and then after the show, come buy artwork and kind of partake and get into.
Did you say that was this weekend?
Oh, I'm sorry, not this weekend.
Okay.
The weekend of
Same week.
of the Holiday Arts
I
Festival.
will be there. I have never forgotten that show, so I will actually be there as well. But can shoppers or people that are attending this event also win prizes, or?
Yes, we are going to have door prizes. Those are going to be kind of a special display once you kind of come down on that evening. But there will be, for every purchase that a visitor or someone that's a festival goer, for every purchase they get, they actually have a chance to win a prize. And so at the end of the festival, we will be kind of doing a drawing, and those select gifts or those select prizes will then be kind of mailed back, or at least contact the winners.
And just in general about our Center for the Arts, are we known for particular things like our art collections and various things, Haitian art collections? We're not just not, you know, when people think of the Center for the Arts, you know, there's a lot of people within that type of environment that understand, but I don't know if people truly appreciate the gift that we have at our Center for Arts and with the Youth Pavilion.
Oh wow, you know, I would agree. I don't think people really understand the weight of what it means right here in Waterloo to literally have the largest public collection of Haitian artwork in the world. I mean, I have traveled kind of some far and wide, and I ran into people all across the globe that know about Waterloo, Iowa, and know about our collection. And in fact, we have scholars all over the world that have been contacting us to actually have our collection be published in their in major publications that are available on Amazon, and it's something that, you know, the citizens here really should be proud. It's like, well, why do we have this large collection? And for the most part, you know, our winners are kind of somewhat treacherous, and so there are people that were fortunate enough to be able to kind of go out and travel and see the world, and those amazing citizens saw the foresight to, like, hey, you know, they're connecting with other cultures, and they found these beautiful, wonderful works of art down in Haiti, and it's like, you know what, I should bring these back to the community. And so a part of diversity that is here in the Cedar Valley, in learning about other cultures, yes, it may be a focus on Haiti, but don't forget the connection of all of the people that makes our community and how diverse we are. And by learning about other cultures, we also learn and be able to appreciate our neighbors.
And also, you know, so we're talking more so, and even young people, younger kids can appreciate this, because you also during the season also showcase youth art, because I remember my son, my fourth grader, I can't quite tell you what he created, but he was so impressed, and he was so proud that he had his art featured there. So there's a little bit of everything from someone at the Center for the Arts, and then you transition to the other side, the newer wing. You also have the Youth Pavilion.
Absolutely, the Phelps Youth Pavilion. You know, the impetus of that is just kind of the bringing youth together to learn about culture in the early days of our Culture Acts program, and when our Youth Pavilion was in the basement. And so fortunately, we've been able to kind of bring that Junior Art Gallery program out of the basement and into the Phelps Youth Pavilion. And it's a full-on, hands-on, interactive kind of experience, celebrating the arts, and through the arts, learning about different cultures. But I think, you know, one thing that you would need to know is, like, of all the activities and all of the displays and all exhibitions that are in there, they're reflective of all of the work that the museum kind of cares for and has collected over the years. And so learning about Grant Wood, for example, the museum has the complete set of all the lithographs that Grant Wood has collected, which is kind of the first time that we've had the complete set. And so part of that Youth Pavilion experience is to kind of go back in time to the Grant's farm experience and what life was, or at least explore what life was like when Grant Wood was alive, to transitioning, you know, up in our upstairs, or I guess I should say the second floor of the Youth Pavilion. We have our Culture Village, where you actually can learn about you know, what children are doing in Mexico, to Iran, I'm going to say, why am I forgetting?
Well,
there's so many
if you would have just threw out a name, we probably wouldn't have known any different.
Well, I mean, there's China and Mexico and India. I mean, there's so many cultures that are represented in our community, and so it's just like, just to have little pavilions of 5 doesn't even do it justice of how diverse our community is. So.
And it's just an amazing place. And during the summers, there's in the amphitheater and walkway, there are many opportunities. I think we ended with the Brazilian twins. I even had the opportunity with, was it the Waterloo Symphony?
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to perform as well, but there's just so much. And each person in this community can find something within the Center of the Arts and within the amphitheater and youth pavilion that they can find and that they can enjoy. So, Chawne, thank you for your vision, your leadership with Ken as well, and all the many people that supported financially to get us to this particular point. We appreciate the work you're doing, and we're seeing you. So thank you so much. for taking the time to tell us about this great festival and well, a lot more. A great festival hosted within our Center for the Arts. This 2-day Fine Arts Festival at the perfect time to kick off the holiday shopping season, giving everyone a chance and someone they love a special handmade gift. A gift of art can keep memories alive for a very long time. What are the dates and times again as well?
That's November 12th and 13th from 10 to 4 p.m.
All right, all right. Thank you very much, Chawne. Thank you for presentation today.
Yeah.
And we will be right back, so don't go away. Well, that's our show. We welcome your suggestions and feedback. Remember to tell others that these episodes are available for viewing from the City of Waterloo website at cityofwaterlooiowa.com, and go to the special YouTube link and you can see this episode or any you may have missed. And for a complete, comprehensive list of all area activities, events, dining, recreation, education, and more can be found on the Waterloo Convention and Visitors Bureau website. That's travelwaterloo.com. There are also numerous videos about Waterloo places, events, and things in the I Dig Waterloo video series. It's a great resource. Please join us next time, and thanks for watching Heart of the City, and I think you will agree, it's a great day to be in Waterloo.